Good morning. My name is Lois McDougall, and this is my journey on mental health awareness. I hope that you can gather some important information here because it's something that you have to commit yourself to. The biggest problem with it in the Black community is it's looked down upon or shunned, or you look at it as an embarrassment. But these people are your loved ones. They are someone that is very close to you. We're not above anything happening to us. I experienced this with one of my children, and he was the least likely one. He was smart, he was handsome, well-dressed, articulate, honor roll student, and then suddenly, life spiraled out of control. You have to pay attention to signs and symptoms that are not a person's normal behavior. Like I said, this child was least likely, and this happened during the end of his high school, when time for him to graduate. He graduated on time. He graduated with a 4.0 GPA. But something was wrong. Something was definitely wrong. He was dating a young lady that was in the foster care system, and her foster mother decided on the day before Thanksgiving to send her and her sister back to the home. He felt like his hands were tied because he couldn't do anything. So his behavior started to change, and I kind of let him go through the teenage symptoms. Okay, but I know this hurts, but you're going to be all right. But he wasn't all right. One day, he was just having these outbursts, and we had just moved into a very nice home. And I just kept hearing this boom. Couldn't figure out what it was, but I knew he was there. He was just literally punching the wall, like bam, bam. So as a mom, I didn't know any different. I was like, okay, whatever you're going through there, I'm gonna need you to cut it out, stop. It tapered down, but it didn't stop. As a mom, I was in church, but I wasn't in church like I am now. So I was like, okay, I'm putting about 15 seconds on this clock, and then it's going to get a little ugly in here. God spoke to me and said, pay attention. I told him, I said, put some clothes on. This was not me. It was God, and it was the beginning. I said, put some clothes on. We get on the bus. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know where I'm going, but this needs to stop. We ended up on Broad Street at the Net Care building that was there. I walked in and I was like, I don't know, but I need some help. And they was like, what do you mean you don't know? And I explained my day to them. They immediately got a psychiatrist, and they took him off, and they talked to him, and they assessed him. He was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia. They said it's a dormant gene that lays at the base of the brain, and bad experiences can trigger it. No matter how normal a person is, this can happen. So I'm like, wow, the breakup. And it was the domino effect after that, and it wasn't on a good level because they don't do much for people here. Thank God that me and my children's father decided that we would remain parents. When our relationship ended, we were just concerned to raise healthy, well-adjusted children together. Hard decision. I decided, because he was in the Air Force, So my children were still under his military insurance. Okay, so I gotta send him down here to you because they're not doing anything for him here. And I refuse to let my child perish. I refuse to let my child perish. The devil, yes, he is that. So he drove down from Florida and he picked him up. Again, it was a journey because my son was gone 5 years when he got to Florida. God is so great. The doctors worked and they worked. So I learned a lot of things. I thought that maybe cigarettes and alcohol, marijuana would take and have a bad effect on the medication. That really wasn't the case. It was caffeine and sugar. We're still on that. It just makes the medication that he is on not work, and the symptoms will show back up like immediately. Rest, staying out of the direct sunshine. There's so many things that you do not get to learn here. I had been in and out at Cornerstone for 30 years. So when I came back, I had been baptized somewhere else, and I wanted to be baptized here. So the Sunday that I got baptized was a few years back, and Pastor McCaskill, he said, but what do you really want God to do when you go down in the water the second time? I shared this story. He said, if you trust God for the healing, it'll happen. I do believe in miracles. This same child, he's been on his job 5 years. Don't miss a day. Don't miss a day. It's been a journey. It has been a journey, and I wish that people would stop sweeping this issue under the rug. I am no better than nobody else, but I've seen the dark side of it, and God will lead you to the results that you're after. They might not even be perfect, but you will know that he's there and that he got you. That might be your test in your faith. Do you believe that this is something that I can do? Because he can. This is a totally different person. Now I live with the child that God gave me. He comes here to church with me. I know to everyone in here, every Sunday he comes with me. So you'll look back there and you will like, oh, he's asleep. Everything that goes on, every song that is sang, every word that Bishop, Will, Denitra, Sister Amelia, I might even say something, he'd be like, Mommy, that's not what they said. So even though it looked like he's in this sleepy state, he has absorbed everything for the last 10 years that just didn't start. That's how long we've been steady back here at Cornerstone. God is his focus now. Really, he's basically back to his, normal self, and it's just God. That's, the only thing that I can say is God is awesome because we don't have any problems. I'm just super proud of him. He does not miss a doctor's appointment. He's very disciplined in his recovery. So we've came a long ways because we went from the wrong medication, I'm not taking it at all, and literally outbursts and talking to itself, and the profanity, like I experienced all of that. I did experience the nightmare of this disease. And we went from that to him quoting scripture to me. So we've come a long ways. We have a bishop that is amazing. Our pastors who pastor with him. This church is an open format. I love that we share everything in here, and it's not looked down upon. There was a day that I wouldn't have done this. This Sunday that we had the issue here, I felt that was God telling me in here, to share my story that Sunday, and everyone was able to experience the bad side of mental illness. I felt like this is a good time to share because you have a different outcome. Because I lived that day. I had lived that day before. We just weren't in church. I had lived that day, many days. And I just felt like it was time to let my church family know that that does not have to be an outcome. When you're in God's hands, not just his house, when you are in God's hands, it does not have to have that kind of outcome.